it's Jennifer from Belladonna's Botanicals, and this is the first video that I'm doing in the series on opening the 12 gates of the Nuctemeron. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I apologize if I'm not. So this is one of the things, and I decided to make a video on this because there's literally like so little out there on this particular working. Like I was doing some research. I'm like, there's outside of a death metal band, not a whole lot on YouTube about it. So I am doing the working from S. Conley's book, The Nuctemeron Gates, the complete guide to opening ritual and pathwork of the Nuctemeron. So she's doing this through it's a 12-month pathworking through her Patreon. So I decided that I'm going to start doing this. So each month you do a different gate. So the first gate is for January. I'm a little late working on it, so I'll be starting the second gate soon. I'm almost done with this, but this is the introductory video to it. I'm going to attach this to the ritual video that I film later. So just to talk about this a little bit. So recommend the book. It's not a long read. So what the origin of the Nuctemeron, the Nuctemeron, is it the point of this is to bring the light of the universe, i.e., whether you want to call it God, source energy, whatever. I like the light of the universe. So into your ritual space, so you're bringing that light of the universe into the ritual space to work with. So in each of the 12 gates, you work with a different genie or Djinn of that gate. And the way she has it set up is you do a session in Ascension, which is like astral travel. So like working in your astral temple with that particular genie of that gate. You do a divination with them. You do a sigil for them. You create an artifact, and by that you could create anything like a painting, a spell jar, a clay, something, the sigil, anything that you want to do there. It's your creative, it's your demonic arts and crafts time. Although I don't know if the Djinn are technically, well, if I'm not mistaken, the spirits of King Solomon were Djinn, and that's what we work with as goetic spirits or goetic demons now. So I think there might have been a little bit of translation issues. So, or just people make up words for things over time. So what this is, so with the Nuctemeron of Apollonius of Tyana, so I'll just read through the gates. So the first hour, in the unity, the daemons sing the praise of God. They lose their malignity and their wrath. The second hour, by the binary, the fishes of the zodiac sing the praises of God. The snakes of fire intertwine around Hermes' staff, and the thunder becomes harmonious. The third hour. The snakes of Hermes' staff intertwine thrice. Cerberus opens his triple mouth, and fire sings the praise of God by the three tongues of lightning. The fourth hour. At the fourth hour, the soul returns for a visit to the sepulchre. It is the time to light the magical lamps at the four corners of the circles. It is the time for incantations and illusions. Fifth hour. The voice of the great waters sings the god of the heavenly spheres. The sixth hour. The spirit remains motionless. He sees the infernal monsters, works against him, and he is without fear. The seventh hour. A fire giving life to all animated beings is directed by the will of the pure men. The initiate raises his hand, and the suffering disappears. The eighth hour. The stars speaks to each other. The soul of the suns communicate with the breath of the flowers. The chains of harmony make all the beings of nature correspond with one another. The ninth hour. The number that is not to be revealed. Sounds ominous. The 10th hour. It is the key of the astronomical cycle and of the circular movement of the human's life. The 11th hour. The wings of the geniuses, which now I have a question here. Is genius related to genies? I need to look that up. Okay, anyways, the 11th hour. The wings of the geniuses move with a mysterious humming, then they fly from one sphere to another and carry the message of God from one world to another. The 12th hour. Here are accomplished the deeds of eternal light. So there's different wording and translations for this. So you might see some um, variations depending on the source. So with each of, okay, so it's the genie, comma, daemons of the hours. So in S. Conley's book, she has like particular ones she works with. So for the first hour, it's Haven, who is a genius of or genie of dignity. So genius of dignity. Yeah, I guess genius has to do with them. Anyway, so we have regarding the first gate. So I worked with Haven for this one, and there are other genies associated with the first gate. I'll get to that. So again, the first hour. In the unity, the daemons sing the praise of God. They lose their malignity and their wrath. So Haven's N is Esna te vino, rise, rise, Haven. So I'm going to move on to, I also have, I think she has these on her, if you're interested in getting the workbook for it, they're on her, what's that called? Lulu, I think. So the way it's separated, there's, for noting all your stuff. So for the preliminary research, thoughts, observations, and work, so we have, I'm not going to repeat that part. So we're working with Haven. So what you would want to do when you're doing these gate openings is like for the first gate, you would want to do at either like 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. So each gate would kind of have a corresponding hour to it. So you would do an open the gate, an invocation, and close the gate. It's important to close gates and portals and stuff, unless you're very talented and knowledgeable of being able to sense them, because if you put a gate somewhere or a portal somewhere and you forget it's there, you might end up with things coming through that are not so nice, like feeder spirits, tricksters, stuff that your poltergeisty kind of stuff. So you always want to make sure your gates, especially like I'm renting, so I don't want to just leave a weird portal here, in perpetuity for anything to come through. I already have a ton of portals in here, so don't need to add more. I have to deal with my portals. So there's the other genie associated, or Djinn, associated with the first hour is Papus, Papus, the physician, Sin Book, the judge, Rasfuia, Fuia, who was a necromancer, Zihon, genius of scandal, Haglot, snowstorms, Miskin, amulets, and Haven is dignity. So one of the things that also took me a little bit to track down was the excerpt from Alpheus Levi's Transcendental Magic on the Nuctemeron of Apollonius of Tyana. So what it gives here in this is just a little background. Oh my goodness, what is it, Corey? I don't see you. I hear you, though. All right, anyways, we're back. The Greek text was first published after an ancient manuscript by Gilbert Gautrinus in De Vita et Mortis Moises, Lib 3, page 206, and subsequently reproduced by Laurent Moschinius in his Sacred and Historical Critical Observations in 1721, translated and interpreted for the first time by Alpheus Levi. The tamarin signifies the day of the night, or the night illuminated by the day. It is analogous to the light issuing from the darkness, which is the title of a well-known Hermetic work. It may also be translated into the light of occultism. This monument of transcendent Assyrian magic is sufficiently curious to make it superfluous to enlarge on its own importance. We have not merely evoked Apollonius, we have possibly resuscitated him. So it goes into Yeah, there's a little. So for the first hour, the way it is in Levi's book is in unity the demons chant the praises of God. They lose their malice and fear. So um, goes on to give a further explanation that these 12 symbolic hours, analogous to the signs of the magical zodiac and to the allegorical labors of Hercules, represent the schedule of the work of the initiation. It is necessarily, therefore, one, to overcome evil passions and, according to the expression of the wise Hierophant, compel the demons themselves to praise God. Two, to study the balanced forces of nature and know how harmonious results from the analogy of contraries, to know also the great magical agent and twofold polarization of the universal light. To gain three, to gain initiation into the triadic principle of all theogonies and all religious symbols. Four, to know how to overcome all phantoms of imagination and triumph over all illusions. Five, to understand after what manner universal harmony is produced in the center of the four elementary forces. Six, to become inaccessible to fear. Seven, to practice the direction of magnetic light. Eight, to learn provision of effects by the calculus of the balance of causes. Nine, to understand the hierarchy of instruction, to respect the mysteries of dogma, and to keep silence in the presence of the profane. 10, to study astronomy exhaustively. 11, to become initiated by analogy. 11, to become initiated by analogy into the laws of universal life and intelligence. 12, to fulfill the great works of nature by the direction of the light. Here follow the names and attributions of the genie who presides over the 12 hours of the Nuctemeron. By these genii, the ancient hierophants understood neither angels nor demons, but moral forces or personified virtues. So I just wanted to talk about one little thing just to clarify. So for the first one, in which he says, compel the demons themselves to praise God. This is where, in S. Conley's work, she clarifies the God thing to be the light of the universe, not literal, like the Judeo-Christian God. So just wanted to clarify that. So further goes on talking about, so the first gate, we must become the physician and judge of ourselves in order to vanquish the witchcrafts of the necromancer, conjure and contemplate. Sometimes the old language is a little different. All the genius of scandal, triumph over the opinion which freezes all enthusiasms and confounds everything in the same cold pallor, like the genius of the snowstorm. Know finally the virtue of signs, so as to enchain the genius of amulets, that we may reach the dignity of the magus. So that's for the first hour. I'm not going to go through each of the hours right now. I'll do that when I make the videos for them. So because it goes on to give kind of an explanation with each gate and in a similar manner like that. So that's that part. And I keep everything in my handy dandy little binder. Oh, I love binders. So now we're going to go on to my personal work here. So from the ascension mode, so again, I was working in the astral realm for this. I first met with Asmodeus because one of Asmodeus' guises not only as the Lord of Lust, or as my friend Eddie calls him, the kinky hell daddy, but he's a demon of wrath as well, but also he's the king of Djinn. So I have never worked with the Djinn before and was a little apprehensive about it. There's not a whole lot spirit-wise I'm afraid of working with, or just have my reservations. The Fae and the Djinn were up. The Fae are still number one. But anyways, without further ado. So I first met with Asmodeus because, I never worked with the Djinn. He took me to Haven, who operates through an interdimensional portal located in connecting the deserts of Morocco and Persia. The portal was sort of like a slit in the fabric of reality that you could only see if allowed, and the light hits it just right. Haven was somewhat blue in color. I think he may have had a goatee, not sure. But And now I'm thinking of the genie. What was that Disney movie, Aladdin? I never saw it, but I'm like familiar with it. I was out of by the time that Aladdin came out, I was in college, so I wasn't really in Disney movie watching mode. So I found it was a really great experience right off the bat working with Haven, and in this sort of liminal space in the astral, the other Djinn of that gate were present. So it was just kind of getting to understand, know, experience. So Haven wanted to experience my emotions and feelings and the experience of music. So you remember the first hour, there's about music. So, but I couldn't physically listen to, like, go and turn music on because I was in the astral realm. So I had to invoke the music within myself and listen to it and to the songs inside me and let the emotions and feelings and memories come up so that he could sort of understand and experience it from that, which was really quite lovely. It's just, hi, I'm ADHD, so I got a little lost in reverie a few times there, depending on the song that came up. But so I got lost down some ADHD rabbit holes, but never fear. He understood, but apparently Djinn, or maybe it was just something with Haven, can summon you back into ascension by kind of pinching you at like the crown chakra and pulling your astral etheric body back to the astral realm, which at one point in time, the first time he did, I was like, ouch, you pinched my brain. I always have a little bit of levity and sense of humor into my spirit working. So this also kind of blends into the divination session as well. So Haven said that the first gate is open in the astral. I just have to connect it with the physical realm. So that's what I'm going to be doing for my gate opening ritual. Regarding the sigil, he said, my hands and mind would instinctually know how to draw it. He also gave me 2 ideas for an artifact. And I think I'm going with the first one. Is I have these little small, like, I'm either going to use mirrors or canvas. I haven't decided yet. I'm either going to paint like the sigil on a mirror or paint it on the canvas. And there was more to it. I may have written it on another page because it was the divination. Okay. So mini paintings of sigil on canvas or mirror. Oh, and I have to use some associated crystals for Haven, which I determined to be lithium quartz for the music aspect and lapis lazuli for dignity. And also to connect it to me, I have to anoint it with a finger prick. So back to here. So for the divination part, which was sort of a little bit more on the invocation, channeling, that kind of spirit communication level. Again, we kind of like kept with the theme of music for some reason. So I just wrote down a quote: listen to the music, not the song. I don't know what that means. Haven is particularly interested in how I encoded most of my life and memories into music and song I've loved over the course of my life. And apparently I have an ancillary task assigned to me to chronologically read my old journals and poetry from 1990 to 2000. That's fun. So I just kind of wrote down some of the songs we listened to. Not going to go into that. Hi, Corey. So this is the sigil I drew. I don't know if that's showing in the right direction. What I noted, Haven told me to just draw that my hands and mind would know the sigil naturally. So what I'm going to be doing for the ritual part is creating the artifact and doing the gate opening ritual. So I have my ritual planning notes here. So again, this is going to be at 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. So ladies and gentlemen and everyone, welcome to Corey. Hi, Corey. What's up? You sit down? Okay, well, we've got my bestie. So, Corey, what are we going to do? We are going to do an invocation to Haven to open the first gate at either 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. Likely for me, I'm probably going to do it at 1 a.m. So I'm going to create the artifact to act as a beacon and symbolic link or a key to the gate. Store the artifact to close the gate in a mirror box. Okay, I guess apparently I have to create a mirror box now or buy a mirror box. Do I have a mirror box? They're all in use. So the invocation, we will use the N, Esna, Te, Vino, Rise, Haven. Have note to play music, not specifically. My invocation would be to call upon him to open the first gate, in the physical to connect with the ascension gate. So I'll be placing the artifact on the altar between two black pillar candles. I will repeat the N, drawing in Haven's essence, make any notes about anything relevant, and then close the gate. So in order to close the gate properly, so we don't end up with like various feeder spirits or negative entities coming through, most of which are usually like attached to spirits of the dead or feeder spirits. Like there's a lot of parasitic like spiritual entities and things like that. So the first part of this, what I'll be doing is doing some fumigation with incense. So I'll be using some sandalwood and frankincense for that to cleanse the place. There's a recitation to recite, and then fusing and patching the gate. So anyways, without further ado, that's my sort of rudimentary introduction to the Nuctemeron workings, and we will be doing the ritual. I will attach the ritual video here, but for now, Corey and I are going to sign off. Right, Corey? Corey, Morning Glory. Hi. What's up, Bubbles? No kisses? What's up, buddy? And you can just marvel at just how magnificent Corey is until then. Look at you. Look at you. We can put your face over here. Hi, buddy. He really is an awesome cat. Did you almost fall? That was embarrassing for you. All right, Corey and I are going to sign off because we have some stuff to do before we do the ritual because it is not 1 a.m. Bye. Hey, it's Jennifer here, back again. There's a little bit of a gap in between the intro for this, but I finally had time to do the ritual. So without further ado, this is the artifact creation and ritual portion of the opening of the first gate of the Nuctemeron, as I went over in the introduction video, which you just watched. So there's 12 gates. So with the first gate opening, you have to do it at either 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. I'm not much of a daytime ritual person, mostly because I get a lot of natural light and I'm like dramatic ambient lighting, and you know, I have so many windows here now that it just kind of blows all that out. But that aside, so what I'm doing for the ritual, to reiterate, I don't remember if I put it in the original video before, is we're going to open the first gate, and I'm creating an artifact to act as a beacon and a symbol or link to that gate. So when I had worked with Haven in ascension mode, like in the astral realm, we opened up the ascension gate. So this is the connection on the physical realm between those two. So the artifact, it works as a beacon or a symbolic link or key to the gate. And I'm working on some type of, probably like a mirror box or something to store all of them in. I just have to figure it out because the way I'm constructing each of the, here, I just haven't done, we will be doing them shortly. So each of the artifacts is going to be, I'm painting the sigil on the mirror. I have some crystals that I will be also affixing to it. These two here. Also going to be doing the second gate later, provided I can stay up till 2 a.m. I made some coffee several hours ago to help me stay awake, and it is still sitting on my Keurig because I forgot I made coffee. I don't normally drink coffee past a certain point in the day, or I'll never sleep. But so we're going to go through. I'm just going to kind of give you the structure for the ritual, so I don't have to keep going back and forth when I'm actually doing it. So the invocation, or the N for Haven, is Esra Te Vino, rise, rise, Haven. Then the invocation that, or the body of the invocation that I'm using is, Haven, I call to you to open the first gate in the physical realm to connect with the Ascension gate. I'm going to be placing the artifact on my altar. I already have the candles burning. And we will repeat the N and draw in Haven's essence. If there's anything of note, sometimes I get messages, sometimes I get different things that come through, then I will thank them and give them a license to depart. So after I'm done, since I'm probably going to do the second gate, I don't need to go through. I'm not going to do the whole gate closing ritual in between the first and second gates. I'm going to wait till after the second gate. That'll be in the upcoming video for that. So, but to give you of the gate closing part of it is that after you do the license to depart, and the reasoning behind this is if you leave a gate or a portal open, there's other like feeder spirits and negative spirits and entities that might be able to come through it. I just don't really want to deal with that. Also, in that I'm renting, so I need, part of the reason I'm creating the artifact to kind of be the key is so I'm not leaving the gate here once I move out, that the gate is kind of the keys, and all the mechanism to the gate are through the artifacts I'm creating. So the first step would be fumigation. We will be using sandalwood and frankincense. One of these little sort of swinging incense censers, there we go, are good because you can kind of get the smoke to waft around. So it's got the inside thing. So we will be using that. And then we'll recite the incantation. This is part of the gate closing. In the name of Satan and Lucifer. I banish all back from whence it came. Go in peace. And then you fuse and patch the gate. And for that, I'll be reciting the ends of Satan and Lucifer. So if you're not familiar with them, the ends are Tassa, was it Tassa? Rami, Laris, Satan. I don't know if I got that right. Rami, Laris, Satan, Ave, Satanas, and Ranish, Tassa, Uberica, Biasa, Ikar, Lucifer. So the ends for that. I have to check on the Satan end because I feel like there's something. I've worked with a lot of ends recently, so now I'm starting to confuse them because a lot of them have repeating words in them. So, yeah, so we're gonna get started with this soon. I'm gonna create the artifact first. I can't see the time on my laptop, but all right. So we got a few minutes to create the artifact and go from there. So let's see. So this is the sigil I channeled for Haven. I don't know if it's showing you in the right direction. It kind of almost looks like a funky H, but that's what I'm going to be painting. And since Haven appeared to me very blue, I'm going to be using blue paint. This isn't going to be a huge masterpiece of artistry. Got my mirror palette down here. Way too much. So it's like I do these so naturally, and then when I try to reconstruct them, it's so weird to do. There we go. Fancy this up a little bit. I'm just using acrylic paints. You can get these. I think I got like a starter pack or whatever at Michael's. Arts and crafts. So I really like some of the more recent rituals I've been doing that have, hi Corey, that have a little bit more of a creative element to it, like in the arts and crafts kind of way. So, trying to give it this little. Try not to have any Bob Ross moments here, but well, that's close enough. So that's the sigil I have on the mirror. So now the stones I picked because Haven is the Djinn of dignity. So I picked dignity and also music were the associations. So I picked lithium quartz for music and lapis lazuli for dignity. This is the lithium quartz. It's focusing on that very well. And I picked out some really tiny little pebbles of lapis. So get our Gorilla Glue. And how I want to put these on. Well, easily enough, I think the lapis is going to, I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold this up right away. Hoping the Gorilla Glue affixes crystals to a mirror. I've not tried this before. So basically what I did, I can't really hold it up yet because it's not dry, is I put the four corners where the lapis, and then there's a little sort of area in the middle where I put the lithium quartz incense. Okay. So this isn't like a hugely like, I mean, you can do the Nuctemeron gate opening in a few different ways. Like you could in theory do all 12 gates. Like it would be a 12-hour long ritual. It would technically be a 12-hour ritual. You just wouldn't. You don't always have to be like sitting here doing something to like open the first gate, go do something else, open the second gate, go do something else. So you could do that for all 12 gates. You could do it all at once. I'm doing one a month, technically, although I'm doing two this month. I just didn't have the time to do I've been wanting to do the first gate for a while. I just have been falling asleep early. So enjoy the back of my head. Okay. I can show you it now. I think they're stuck. Sorry for the glare of my ring light. There we go. I'm just placing it right here, kind of central to. Beginning the ritual then. Esna, te, vino, rise, rise, haven. Esna, te, vino, rise, rise, haven. Esna, te, ero, vino, rise, rise, haven. Esna, te, vino, rise, rise, haven. Haven, I call you forth to open the first gate in the physical realm to connect with the ascension gate. Esna, te, vino, rise, rise, haven. Esnante vino rise, rise, heaven. Esnante vino rise, rise, heaven. Just gonna note here, I felt everything kind of shift. Like the inside of my head felt really heavy all of a sudden, and it's just sort of wobbly. That's what I'm looking for, wobbly. And noting again, I feel like this part's gonna be really more mental, so it's gonna be kind of probably boring for me to watch. So I'm probably gonna fast forward a bit through this, or cut parts out and splice it together. But I'll babble anything of note. So it's interesting how the Djinn sort of work with you. It feels to me like they sort of pull you out of body through your crown chakra, through your upper chakra. Okay. I'm definitely feeling the vortex of energy from the first gate. It's flowing like sort of a kinetic vortex as I'm phase shifting between the worlds. So behind the first gate is that tornadic kind of portal vortex energy. So it's very blue, bright. Keep hearing, look up. Look. So the purpose of the Nuctemeron pathworking is to bring the light of the universe into your ritual space to be able to use within the magic. I think I'm supposed to go up. Apollonius is present. He's kind of been in the background for the workings for this as the king of Djinn, since we're working with the Djinn with the gates. Mm. That's not fair. Vino, rise, rise, heaven. That's not fair. Vino, rise, rise, heaven. That's not fair. Vino, rise, rise, heaven. Thank you, Haven. Thank you for the wisdom you imparted, for the knowledge and nexus. Thank you for assisting me in opening the first gate in the ascension and in the physical realm. I give you lessons to the parts. Thank you. So that was just the first part of it. Like, I feel like there's going to be more that comes through. This is definitely something that kind of goes in between the worlds. So this, I feel like there's more that's going to come through on this. And as we build on this, so I started working with the second gate, which is Caesarea, I believe. I don't know how it's pronounced. So it's a very different working than anything else I've done. I don't know how to describe it. I haven't worked. This is my first time. My first time working with the Djinn, and so it's just a different energy and mechanism. And why are you so wet? So, anyways, yeah, I feel like this is a much different working energetically, just the type of experiences I've been having with it. It's so different, and I've never worked with the Djinn before. I was always a little apprehensive about it, so that's for me why Asmodeus has been present here. Like, I don't know, my demonic chaperone or whatever. But yeah, so that's sometimes I work with a spirit like that to facilitate like working with another spirit or group of spirits or something like that. Like for me, I worked with Lilith first, and Lilith was kind of the entity I worked with that sort of introduced me to other ones. Lucifer was the same as well. So yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell the first gate. I mean, there's a lot of work that kind of goes into this, as I talk about in the first part of the video. So anyways, stay tuned. I will be back shortly with the second part of this. Whee!